Hi, my name is Erica Steeves. Today I'm going to be talking to you about pricing your time. I know that if you are new to photography or doing product photography specifically, it can be really challenging to know how to position yourself in the market. So I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I price my services. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started. So much information to cover today. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. A new video will be dropping every Tuesday where I'm going to be sharing more information about product styling, commercial photography, tips and trips, inspiration, taking you behind the scenes. I am just giving you everything that I have in my tool belt and I want to share it with you. So make sure that you subscribe to get those new videos launching every Tuesday. After being on set for hours and hours and working on so many different client projects, I finally figured out the sweet spot of what I can expect for my time to yield when I am on set. And today I want to share that with you. If you are not sure how to do the pricing for your photography, stay tuned and keep watching to get all of my tips and tricks. But if you're feeling a little bit unsure, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit and show you the things that I do to get the ball rolling, to make sure that when I'm putting an estimate in for a project, I'm not blowing it out of the water, and there's a communication with my client so that I can set the expectations. Generally, as a commercial photographer, I am charging per photo basis. And when I do really large campaigns, depending on the client, sometimes they are more comfortable with a day rate, but generally when I'm working with small to medium sized businesses, they really want to know what the whole project is going to encompass. So it includes the editing, it includes us showing up, renting the studio space, the overhead, all of the bells and whistles. We are condensing all of the project into what it costs to produce one photo if the scope of the project is changing, so that they know what the end bill is going to look like, and we're not going to be putting and investing all this work into it without knowing that they're going to pay for the bill. But just by having the conversation and getting inspired or getting interested in their project that they are presenting to you, it will go a long way in understanding what you need to do so that you can price fairly and make sure that you are going to be in the realm of what they're looking for. Usually in these conversations that I'm having with them and I'm inquiring more, I started asking them the type of photos that they're looking for, and I have created two different products. So I have a creative feature image and I have a creative still life image. So a creative feature image is a very simple, very simple image where there's just something interesting or is placed in an aesthetic way that brings your eye and draws attention to the product in an aesthetically pleasing way. So this can be the color of the paper, it can be the type of lighting that you use, very minimal supporting props, and it's just a very simple photo, but it's a high quality, beautiful image that captures the product in a captivating way. And then a creative lifestyle image is the second product that I offer my clients, and this is really a more elevated photo where I start my storytelling. And with the storytelling, you want to be placing the item in a way that it looks like it's in a room, or you are adding different props into the photo that is telling the brand story. You want to maybe show the product being used in a way that it looks like the person just literally got up and walked away for a second, and everything is just kind of left as is. So there's so many different ways that you can create that creative lifestyle image, and it takes a lot more thought and energy and time and space. So I've developed these two different products, direct them into one of the different images so that we can start narrowing in on their vision. I know I struggled with pricing for a really long time. I'd love it if you could drop me some questions below in the comments and we can carry on the conversation, because I know there's so much more to talk about with this subject, and I'd love to know what you think and if you have any questions about what I'm talking about in this video today. How does the creative feature and the creative lifestyle image really determine what your pricing your time is going to look like? And it really comes down to how long it takes to make each image. I estimate that for a creative feature image, I can do 4 of those in an hour, opposed to a creative lifestyle image where maybe I might only be able to get 1 in an hour. So if my day is 8 hours, and I can do 1 creative lifestyle image in an hour, that means that I can only do 8 photos in a day. So when I'm pricing for my clients, I try to explain to them that when we're building spaces in the studio and we are, like making a bedroom, or we're making a kitchen, or we're making a bathroom, all of these different concepts, it takes a lot of time to set up and deconstruct. So if we can have similar concepts that build off of each other and transition between them, there's room to for overlap to be able to make more than 8 images. But in general, you have to set the expectation and understand what you're able to do in a day. I know that once I hit 8 creative lifestyle images in a day, that the concepts are completely different, I start to get burned out and I'm not able to perform at the level and the quality that they're expecting me to. And this is something you have to consider with your time, is when you are on set for a full 8 hours, and after you have a couple of different ones under your belt, you'll be able to have different conversations based off of experience of how you can serve your clients. But just from my perspective, once I hit about 15 creative styles of images, I start to get tapped out, and it really shows in the quality of the work. Something I always want to do when I am working with clients is over deliver. And I do this by setting the expectations and bringing it down lower, so that when we're on set and I'm overperforming and I'm just hitting it out of the park, they are falling even more in love with my process and the images, and they get super excited about it. So one of my biggest points is find a way to over deliver, and you will start to build those really great client relationships. Even though I'm telling the clients that we are only going to be making 8 sets or 14 creative feature based images, when I tell them this, the expectation is that each concept is going to be completely different. But when I'm making those different images, I am taking so many different additional images and angles and moving things around just slightly to make variances, that after when they come off of set, typically clients have been known to take even more images. So one day I remember I was on set with a client and we were only anticipating to take about 15 images. We had went through our shot list, we had all the props, we booked the studio time, we did the whole process, and we had a really good bank of inspiration images to pull from of what we were looking to obtain from the photo shoot. And we started with our shot list and we just started going down our line. We had the 15 images outlined, and in those we were getting additional little images that we thought were really interesting by just swapping out a prop or just changing the angle of the camera slightly. And at the end of the day, this client ended up taking 71 images from set that day. We were only going in with the anticipation that we were going to be taking 15 images, but this is a really amazing opportunity when you're paying per photo and you set the expectation for your client that this is what is going to be. There was a lot of icing on the cake, if we know what you're talking about, and maybe a few cherries on the top with this project, because it was well worth my while and well worth the time for my client as well, because they were able to map out months of their content for social media and for their advertising and their website, their blog posts, their newsletters, all of the things to have this amazing cohesive brand shoot that was going to span 4 months. It was an entire quarter for them, and we were able to do all of that content in one day. So it just goes to show, when you are really organized and you communicate with your client what you're looking and what your expectations are, that you do have the space and the ability to over deliver in a way that it adds so much value for your clients. When this happens, it is amazing, and it just like lights you up and fuels you to do what you do and your passion as a photographer. But there are times when things do not go very well, and maybe you haven't set the stage or explained the explained everything fully. So one thing that I really stress is communicate with your clients as much as possible. And one thing that you have to communicate with is editing, because the editing time can either make or break your profit margin. It is so crucial, especially when you're doing these per photo basis, where you are setting what the price of the project is going to be at the very beginning. If you aren't telling them that it's only Lightroom edits that are going to be included on this project, or it's only going to be X amount of editing time. So sometimes, like when I'm on set, if it takes 1 hour to shoot it, maybe it could be 2 hours in editing time. Or if I'm communicating with the client and I'm telling them that we are only just cleaning it up, we are removing any dust and dirt, we are extending any frames that might be out of place, we are just doing general cleanups like this, maybe this is included in the general pricing of the photo. But if they want us to go in and manipulate their product to be something different than that we received on set because the sample didn't arrive, or if they want us to Photoshop something out or put something in that wasn't even there to begin with, the amount of time and effort that it takes for it to look organic and nice and natural is, one, a really high expertise, two, very time consuming. And to make sure that you are using stock images or things like this that are shot at the same angle after the fact, you see where this is going. It can become very messy really quickly. So setting the expectations and having it outlined how much editing you will be doing in post-production. And something as a photographer, you start to learn what is worth your time to fix in frame when you are photographing, and what is worth maybe judging, like just kind of finessing a little bit more in Photoshop after. And something that I find I often will do this with is reshaping the client's product. If they have a soft good and there is it's just not sitting properly, using the liquefy tool in Photoshop to make it look plusher or more uniform in shape and size is more than what I can do in person, because you're literally bending reality at that point to make it happen. So this is a fine line that you need to learn how to tightrope across, but it becomes easier with experience. And just even taking time to edit your own photos will give you experience in knowing how much it will take to do editing afterwards versus in frame. So I highly recommend this. If you are coming from the wedding industry, I think it's really amazing that you can work out packages where you're doing day rates and things like this, and you are going to be on location shooting for an extended period of time. But with commercial photography, it is a different conversation. And when you're talking to business executives and things like this, and you're saying like, hey, like my day rate is this, and they're saying, I don't make that much in a day, like why are you worth that? So it can be, just to deflect that kind of energy off of you, a great way to do this is to focus on the quality of the product that you're delivering to them. So this is one of the reasons why pricing per photo can be really interesting. So a lot of times when you tell them, oh, like this image is going to cost $100, they think that like your time is like an exact exchange for what you're doing. So when you're on set for only 1 hour and you're able to get a few photos, like they don't understand, or they don't put it into perspective maybe, that the time it took to manage the project to get you to this point to walk on set, and then the time that it takes to shoot, and then the post-production as well. And these are all educating points on how you can stress and add value to your clients by showing them and explaining to them all of the amazing things that you're bringing to the table. There's so many things that come into play, so don't undervalue yourself, but really hold your ground and be confident in the price that you're asking for your photography, because you are so worth it. Being a photographer and a product stylist is more than just taking pretty photos. And something that you have to do is be able to learn how to onboard new clients. Today I was talking about the pricing formula and pricing structure of how I price my time, and I have the entire thing here in my client onboarding process. I'm super excited to share this with you because I have the script that I do when I talk with my clients to get all the information is in here. I have the pricing formula where I break down in an equation what you need to be pricing for each of your services or products, so that you have a break-even point, and then adding a little bit of margin for your profit, which if you don't have a profit or if you don't have clients, you just have a really expensive hobby. So you need to get this locked down. There's also email templates, and then additionally my shot list, and so much other great information and tips. This video that I did today is based off of this, and there is so much more great information to share. I really hope that you can download it and use it into your workflow. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel to learn about product styling and commercial photography. I have so much amazing information to share with you, and I really hope that you gain some really great insight on how to price your services today.